Hi guys, I'm immigration attorney Ann Sedki, and today we're going to be discussing naturalization or citizenship. Because this is such a big topic, I've decided to break this up into two segments, the part one and part two. Part one, we will be discussing eligibility requirements for naturalization. And in part two, we will be discussing if you are eligible for any exemptions to the English and civics portion of the naturalization exam. So you have your green card and you want to apply for citizenship. So what are the eligibility requirements to apply? Number one, most people have a green card, can apply for citizenship after 5 years after getting your green card. However, there are some people that are eligible to apply after 3 years if you obtained your green card through marriage. So the 5 and 3 year rule will depend on how you got your green card, but you must complete those 5 or 3 years before you are able to apply for naturalization. Now, immigration rules allow you to apply 90 days before that 5 or 3 year mark. So we can start preparing the immigration paperwork for naturalization at least 3 months before that anniversary. Number two, this is probably the most important requirement for applying for naturalization as a green card holder. It's the physical and continuous presence requirements. And what does that mean? Now, as a green card holder, you are required to maintain physical presence and continuous presence in the United States. Let's begin by talking about physical presence. Physical presence means the physical days that you are living in the United States. Now, if you are traveling a lot, this can sometimes be a problem because some people are actually leaving the United States very often and are not having enough days in the United States to be able to apply for citizenship after the 5-year mark. So there are a certain number of physical days that you will have to maintain in the United States. If you don't have that number of days, it's very likely that you might actually get denied by the time you go to your immigration interview. So again, it's very important that we know whether you have enough days in the United States before you apply. Now that's for physical presence. Now let's talk about continuous presence. Continuous presence is another requirement for naturalization. And what the immigration law says is that if you are taking trips outside of the United States, no trip can be more than 6 months at a time. Now, often I run into clients who have this problem, especially my clients who have a home in another country, or they are on extensive business trips where they are spending long periods of time outside of the United States. Now, this breaks the continuity of their continuous presence. And what that means is that if you are staying outside of the United States for more than 6 months at a time, but less than 1 year, there is something called a presumption of abandonment of your green card. And what does that mean? That means that the immigration sees that you are abandoning your green card or you are going to live somewhere else. Now, that's a presumption and it could be rebutted. And what that means is that you can actually provide the immigration a reason why you have spent so much time outside of the United States. And that could be with one trip or multiple trips. But they have to be explained to the immigration in order for them to approve your case. Now, if you have been outside of the United States for more than 1 year, then according to immigration law, that is an abandonment of your green card. And it's much more challenging. And you need to consult with an immigration attorney on whether you are eligible to apply for naturalization and how you can provide immigration a reason for your extended absence. So let's now go on to the third requirement, which is, again, a very important requirement for applying for naturalization, and that's moral character or good moral character, as the immigration likes to call it. And it is a very broad term that has no real definition under immigration. But what that means is that in order to apply for citizenship or for naturalization, that you have to show and present to the USCIS that you are a person of good moral character and that you have been a good person as a legal permanent resident in the 5 or 3 year period. Now, again, there is no set definition on what that means, but this topic usually comes up when someone has a criminal history. So if you are someone who has been charged with crimes in the past and convicted, then your good moral character requirement will probably be questioned. And it's very important that you discuss this with a competent immigration attorney so that they can review your criminal history and be able to know whether these convictions could actually affect your ability to be naturalized. In my practice, I have seen many people who have come to me with different types of criminal activity. Some of them seem like they are very extreme, but they may not actually affect your immigration application for naturalization. And many others have actually, lesser charges, but they can actually, prevent the immigration services from approving your case. So again, it's very important that your criminal history be reviewed by an immigration attorney in order for you to know if you can be naturalized. Now, the final point, is the civics and English portion of the naturalization interview. Now, part of your ability to become a naturalized citizen is to pass the English and civics portion of the naturalization exam in order for you to be naturalized. Now, the English portion consists of two parts, which is being able to read in English and write a sentence in English. But one of the points that are not usually covered is that you have to understand the English language. And that's also a very interesting portion of the English exam that many people don't talk about. But you do have to understand what the officer is saying and be able to respond to his or her questions. Now, the second part of the exam is the history, or what is known as the civics portion. That is comprising of about 100 history questions that you'd have to study and be able to answer 6 of them during the interview. Now, in part 2 of this video, we are going to be talking about whether individuals can actually be eligible for exemptions to the English or the civics portion of the exam. There are exemptions, including medical exemptions as well as age exemptions. We will cover both of those topics in the next part, in part 2 of this video. If you found this video to be helpful and the information beneficial, I encourage you to watch part 2, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.